Utie oha echi ponkno. Needs FM.
The greater was what to make. Kwasi.
Over.
Yes, sanitation, perennial flooding. Yenya wasam kana.
Over medase na mechia obio na machia minua penny agbesi. Na offer asante achem domi abrafo mo se mentia wo. Omo de baby a show baby anytime bia omo see tune omo tie ndi omo de man for omo chia ma be yasem kese pa.
Why kese asem chia no.
O kese jo be de be ko pa.
Ya de so so sem chia no pa.
Mate offer. Be so omo nyina etie. Asante achem domi abrafo omo nyina etie. Ana menua be ma ba ko so man kan em se eno so be ko so oye adwuma ma party ni pa e fe ne MPP ko dwe be ne ye ne birthday. Ti ma me fa sa akwanyen enwish no. But quickly offer I think say me make some few corrections bi answer na my presentation so no say me nwa panika sa no say sama tankers voy im say aban we ba wa neglect your motive but o hear story radiouniverseonline.com publisher o say Ghana government gives clearance for posting of 2010 to 2019 unemployed graduates of hygiene schools. Between 2010 no motiwa basi time ba power 2017 that is a space of 7 years. It took 7 years no mu nyina dey ewofie but then we came and as our backlog up to 2019 ayede abekle and na ohwa graphic online so say my story because recruitment process begins for 1,174 hygiene graduates and yade aban na yade yetu anam that is just to give an information but mamenko a presentation on the flooding over flooding issue no I'm say you can be na ya adwa say yankran kwa the problem no extended beyond in and I mean on consensus I'm sure say the two parties will agree say it has been a failure on us as a people regardless of who is in power or who is out of power because yenye MPP amoma ba yenye this is amoma dey about power but don't have flooding problem ebro 8 years ebro 10 years I think say there are people omokraka say is about 30 years ebi so running up to about 50 years they say the scope na dey ayekese so it has been a failure on us as a country. Yentiminya the responding ye. Go here be to say be a sanitation loss no crana kebeboa with just an aspect, keeping an aspect of flooding. It is something as a country intimi implementing ye, but one of the failed laws are yentiminya the enhe so but when like I said, any problem limited to Accra. But I be discussing flooding who say I say but recently as what is Bagri Dam spillage in Akoswa, Northern, I think some of the three northern regions. In Jibuha, Abribia and say flooding bar, your response as a state, has been reactive. The Trawa Maneba, they do hire Pesca Crazo, ye evacuate you more, ye the relief items, you call ye pedam or my day at them near your announcement in a way. That has been our response as a country. In Jibuha, reactive, but I think it has gotten to a time we have to measure our success in terms of fighting against the flood, based on being proactive because we can't always cope with the flood. It is about time we have to adapt to the flood. In the adaptation here, what they say, you will be proactive. Now, you lead the flood. Of course, flooding is a national issue. Blame game, attitudinal problem, waste management issues, shoddy works. But then you now rest on leadership. Then you now rest on leadership. At a critical stage like this, especially on a platform like this, which is a political platform, you only measure two parties, based on your responses to the flood. As to whether your responses, whether say you mean reactive and I say proactive. Because of our story here, flooding causes, most of them, say they mean penny agbesika, be attitude na. Truth is, say, as a point in answer, let's appeal to ourselves as a country, as citizens. Say, for how long are you going to blame leadership and government for perennial flooding? Afibia the issue, because aban intimi policy obia hwe say afribia drainage bia no ye the police ni agina ho ana say the camera agina ho ye dey monitoring nya no aban intimi nya ni nyina asia nka say nipa no the higher responsibility also lies on us afa oba be to say waste management and also na no so to the contribution of South flooding because one share waste management same year abribia no mo nsemura okrom and so no to be dey ebepem epema dey kwa koguga tesinim na afa flood na ye dey asha se na ye dey ekoso but ohwe aban response offer me say ohwe okra na I think we compare statistics on cholera issues obon say afi kra akofom which means say generally no MPP's performance on waste management no ye dey abwa nti ohwe the extensive scope of flooding no So we define the extensive scope of flood and area aban bi answer ya with regards to even waste management. It is something that with regards to your reaction towards flood and area abua. But there is one problem as a country you see addressing here and sometimes as a ban your responses to say problems are we cause more problems and no be because the cobra effect. As a debia no say oh be just solve problem you cause more problem. My classic example. Okay, I say you know this may believe is bibi to say circle interchange na sikani ade ekomu no ye because no more ensure for proper drainage ni ade and philosophy so kwa chen better TV so can the extent and the scope you should for the scope but as at now circle go so flat my another example me kwachiri enkran ha ya terminal 3 as at now so no so last year it was worse until say government responded near year drainage system constructed no be a ho nyina de eboy enti one here yes as a buyer kra no your responses bu ha dey solve societal problems also even complexes the whole flood issue enti we have to accept ni ehu ba be a flood problem na nkasa here dey e free ba ansa na e be hu sai e be ekwan be so here dey esi here dey asolve no but say dem sika no your problem the major problem has been say always want to cope with the flood instead of rather than say you adapt to the flood but here it's about time as abano and as a man for no yes a transitive from the coping strategy to the adaptive strategy and you will say yankasa buy because leadership is not to complain oh an attitudinal problem and yes say so buy but one kasa MPP na do buy yankasa there na why have flood issue no where of a flooding you say solve whole problem na but senka enye certain interventions critical interventions akaban na de buy akabaya west on say ofa kaneshi ho a e de course kaneshi wager kwan no so ha sir I want kaneshi first light one so my drainage system bi ho so here be 2 years ago no na enkente sa ka it would have been worse but of course they say na so the attic akra wo say me ba na wo ka John Dumelo ni mama lady asem say Westland na ho no ho nyina flood but previously na shiashi Westland mempasen mo ho nyina na ho nyina de flood you but biza wo say na ye den kwa na kwa Westland nkwa. Let's just say there has been some critical policy interventions there, which was not only reactive but it was proactive, and that defines the exemplary leadership. Distinguishing once again President Akufo-Addo from former President Mahama.
No, you mean she have been solved?
Oh, so I didn't interject. No, people can call from there.
It's just a conversation. No, because I witnessed it. That's what.
No, Anna. No,
I'm a living testimony. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Anna, may I say, if you look at initially the extent and not flood, it was bad.
No, it was
it was bad. But now, no. No. Let people call from there.
No, I witnessed.
No, we can't trust you because we can't trust you.
Why can't you trust me?
Offer again. One of the interventions we say, we say as at now, no, we can't flood as a man who knew flood no as a problem on its own without doing infrastructure project. Because equal hand in hand, there is a marriage between the two. Only when over infrastructure project correct the problem of the flooding and about source of flooding problem no. Abai sa 40 township roads where we say now proper drainage system no emuso a kataso. Because they mean yagbesi so can say dey quarantine na be drainage system mo a dey bia na nkofo otu because with the University of Ghana higher example okwa omo proper drainage system wo ho. But entino adibia no nso to because yakata so nyina na why fine entino nitam bia no flood na de enkoso enti sa 40 township roads nyina no it has drainage system no so no na make say ya say flood na me ya adwen kwa anye say ahase because the whole problem has been say abibia esi what has been our reaction towards it because my for Bagredam issue in example say until recently President Akufo-Addo cut sword and now or approve a court parliament more approve say omo be construct Palugu Dam no abribia no eba na be say nyuma na be say nsuo na cool lives and that is all we discuss it every year annually over how many times now host to program afibia can flood once them but as a people no, as a country what has been our response what will you continue to see a half full glass as half empty and as a half full that should be the question but we have been say Bagredam now yes it is a flooding problem but now no you are converted to power generation yes how they are the irrigation purpose and that should again distinguish the two leaders between President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo. As I speak with you there are 36 township roads where yes how they are correct make way in I say we can't also complain because we are not in opposition. Yeah, but say a dear na dey afa ho and that is what President Akufo-Addo some of the interventions or they are aba but generally no flooding, so it goes in hand in BBC sanitation. We go Ukroma now saying a hot enyefa now saying a fee or what. Always the gutters will be choked. But generally, no, our performance on sanitation, of course, you can say solve sanitation problem now, see you. But generally, no share any cromuna ya day ate. And ka kromunte ya, or the rainy season say, ka cholera outbreak, and what one case you gra. Auntie, Ushe mupa dia, any with regards to dredging works near any idea. And as I speak with you, and I'm going to say graphic report to say at least 1,117 omoye a school of hygiene and Korano our material fee between 2010 to 2019 no abaye the apostle
a waste treatment plant across the 16 regions undertaken by Zoom Lion. Now President of the Republic is there. Ebema Ghana aye the cleanest of the lots in Black Saharan Africa.
Bill Mazaro Casas view.
Offer the sir when the back can sorry no ma ebo ye ma Mrs. Ladapa about so say no say because at the back who say can flood down men say pretty flood in kwan say nsuo to ye will no maybe and na a trigger flooding because say nsuo ne to now drainage system are choked waste management nya papa definitely flood ne be dey ebeba. Of course, there were other factors. Say there were dying CCC waterways near there, which is purely an engineering problem, and the local government authority should set up and do their work. But the whole point is say, what mean waste management in fee? This solve flooding problem. At the end of again, it shows say Abaywe is not a government who cope with the flood, but is rather adapting with the flood. Abaywe in a government again, it shows say on your reaction measures in Kekenodi, busa flood abanya kwesi the relief item. Then former president who tumutu no attacks no akoye show near channel. No, that's what the president is doing. Well, of a while now come of videos to say or construct a 20 of friends recycle plans. What it means in the same waste and block winning now for waste in the home bay and fast because say waste people have to buy the waste because no so here and just waste na can no be so I'll be who maybe what new waste better no or no company be ho no here waste into no auto waste na the best say waste na ke be choku gatters no obi the producer at the papa here dey ama be electricity e be or the produce polythene bags or the produce be rubber ama on minor side the enyam for so and that again distinguishes the president Akufo-Addo is the only person now again you can trust him say ba so solve problem of flood obi time there solve.
Utie oha extra punk no. Needs FM.